right around that time, Phil had come back to us, and Phil was just like, look, this is something that, my heart's into it. I really want to do it. This is something I fully believe in. I've missed playing music so much in this last 9 months, and I miss jamming with you guys, and this is what I want to do. Things cleared up in my life, and got into the band, wheeled my gear back.
He was at a point where he was like, I'm not going to quit playing music. This is what I want to do, and I want to do this with you guys.
Pretty much right then and there, it was like, that was it. We're not trying out anybody. This is the guy, we know it. We got him in, brought him in as a full-time member.
And it was awesome, it was, because we'd already played with Phil, and we had this killer chemistry that doesn't come around that often.
And we started fucking around with, his riffs, and he started bringing stuff to the table, and, the music we were making was just on fire. We were just like, whoa. And around that same time, right after that, Roadrunner International came back and, kind of out of the blue made us an offer.
We started talking with them at the time. The dialogue was opened up once more, and it was decided that we would try and basically re-sign Machine Head for Europe.
We had continuing dialogues with Roadrunner International. Europe has obviously always been a stronghold for the band, and the relationship with the label, even though, we were no longer on Roadrunner, we went over and did some shows, and the support we got from them was across the board really impressive. We knew that they were still feeling what we were doing.
So we signed this international deal with Roadrunner, and that was, to us, was killer, man. It was like being back on a label that we really wanted to be on, a label that knew us and understood us. We
ended up signing with Roadrunner International 2 days before, 2 days before we're going in to record Through the Ashes of Empires. We actually booked studio time, and we're actually touring the studio, which none of us had ever seen. We're touring the studio, and hey, Mark, why don't you go, into the bathroom? We're gonna go check out the room, and we're actually secretly going into the drum room to sign the contracts and not let this guy know that we're unsigned up until this point, and how we're gonna pay him. Sharkbite Studios, Mark Keaton. So cool because we're recording at home. We're able to focus. It's not outside recording in LA or London or wherever the fuck. So we go in there and we start recording, and it's amazing. The things are really coming together. We had kind of fine-tuned a lot of songs up until that point, but we had really fine-tuned a lot of things at this point. Imperium had been finalized a week or two before we went into the studio. Days Turn Blue to Gray, I went in there, I had no lyrics. Nothing.
So I'm kind of making this part up as I go. I don't really know what's going to work with the main vocal line that I'm doing, so I'm just going to try a few things.
Rob still, remember him sitting in his car, AC going, sitting in the passenger seat, writing lyrics. Imperium, same thing. Imperium had 0 lyrics. Dave ended up doing his drum tracks in a freaking day and a half or something. Fucking McLean nailing his takes. I remember just going, oh dude, that was Neo, that was the one, that's the one, we're saving that one. It was a pretty big blow. We knew that, we weren't going to have a simultaneous release at that point, which, we knew we were going to get signed eventually, but to not have the record come out, and we pretty much had we got some diehard fans, and we knew that they were going to go out and buy the import and not wait for the record to come out 4 or 5 months later.
That raised a lot of concerns, especially on my part, because I was dealing with labels that understood the circumstance of that, and There was definitely a great deal of concern that that was going to affect our U.S. release. Once we got everything squared away for the States, there was, at that point, no way the record was going to be able to come out here simultaneously.
We knew that we had a really kick-ass record when we wrote this, when we recorded it. We were like, wow, this is some really killer stuff. We didn't really think that it was going to be as widely accepted as it was.
It fucking blew up. I mean, we were just like, whoa. I mean, you know, chart, you know, top 20, top 10 in some countries, and it was like, holy fuck, you know, magazines, you know, we were bumping like Iron Maiden for magazine covers, and we were like, fuck, you know, like, this is fucking crazy.
A lot of the reviews come out, killer reviews. I mean, you know, Album of the Year, Metal Hammer, 2003, killer reviews.
Basically, at the 11th hour, Roadrunner came in, Roadrunner America came in with this proposal, and we were just like, you know, it came in from left field, and we were just like, what? Like, whoa, you know, where did this come from?
I kept in touch with the band, and as I said, I was so blown away with the record. I basically went to the people here again and just said, look, you guys got to take a listen to this record. It's really a masterpiece. The band are really back in fine form. We really should reconsider signing the band.
They really were just like, we fucking believe in this, and you know, we want to do this, man. So we ended up signing with the label that that we had separated from, you know, 2 years prior.
Actually, Machine Head's probably the only band in the history of Roadrunner that was released from their agreement with Roadrunner and then re-signed to Roadrunner. So it was an interesting set of circumstances.
I think basically we really wanted to we wanted to show where we were at as a band after Phil got in the band. That was a song that was written then, and it was really indicative of where we were coming from at that point.
So we went back in and we recorded the song Seasons Wither, which is a song that Phil and I had written, and just, you know, this song had just turned out incredible, and you know, and we had written it in the 6 months after the release of Through the Ashes. We put it on the record and it really fit on the record, so we ended up inserting it into the sequence of the record, like not adding it as a bonus track, like here's this extra song, but you know, like into the sequence, like this is now a part of the American release.
To this day, off that album, it's my favorite song on the album. It just kind of represents, you know, it's the last song we wrote, so it's obviously where the band is close to being writing-wise.
More than trying to sell records, it was more of like, this is probably really close along the lines of what you're going to get out of the next Machine Head record.
I remember talking like their best case scenario is going to be like, you know, if we do 5,000 records, dude, it's going to be fucking awesome. And we were just like, yeah, you know, and if we at that point for us, it was like, you know, fuck, if we do 5,000 records, it'll be a fucking miracle. So then we realized we weren't going to have the Imperium video played until like a week, 2 weeks after the record came out. We weren't going to have any tour release, you know, touring prior to the record coming out. We had this timing fuck up with like all the fucking magazine, like all the magazine ads weren't going to come out until like 3 weeks out after the fucking record came out. A lot of the mainstream magazines, like they didn't want to like do interviews with us, and we couldn't really figure it out why, but like they were actually like refusing doing interviews with us.
It just blew us away. It was like 80-something on the Billboard charts. Everybody at Roadrunner America was just like, this is not supposed to happen. Like, you guys, you're not supposed to sell this many albums.
We were all just ecstatic, man. Just very excited, because this is, you know, this is our home. This is where we need to succeed, and just we need America to get us.
I think that our fans just really wanted to support us. They love what we do and they don't want to see it go away.
If it wasn't for our fucking fans, standing by us and going out there and supporting us and carrying us on their shoulders when we were fucking down and, talking to us on the street and just being like, man, you can't fucking stop. You can't stop doing this. Like, you have to go on. Right around that time, our first album, Burn My Eyes, turned 10. And all of us were just like, it didn't even really dawn on us until about 2 weeks before its birthday. And we started talking. We were like, you know what, man, we should do something special for the actual anniversary.
When you listen to Through the Ashes of Empires, it doesn't reek of any particular genre. It doesn't sound like a thrash record. It doesn't sound like a new metal record. It doesn't sound like a metalcore record. It just sounds like metal, period. And that's why I say it's timeless.
I remember putting that on and just being like, holy shit, when I heard Imperium the first time. And it's just a great album, and it's one of those albums that the more you listen to it, the more enjoyable it becomes.
I think one of the things with Machine Head that you can always say is that their honesty has been absolutely prevalent throughout everything they've done. I mean, if they've made mistakes honestly. I think that Machine Head's career is an absolute testament to honesty, passion, and ultimate triumph.
But I'm absolutely 100% convinced that this next record is going to be their all-time best record, based on the fact that I really feel the band's confidence is back now. Now that they've prove to the world that they still have it, that they can make an amazing record, that they can make a metal record that blows away 99% of the other metal records out there. If they made Through the Ashes when their confidence was at a low, could you imagine what they're going to do on this current record when the confidence is back at an all-time high?